Welcome back, my cheerful compatriots, to the Chupacabra's lair, and we are here today to check out another magnificent game, namely by none other than our good old friend Andrew DeRizio. And, well, when was the last time Larry saw old Andrew? Well, it was back during the flippity-flappity-flappy jam. And this was like my first foray into the wide world of game jams. Had no idea they were so prolific and so magical. And that started the Indie Showcase series that were floating around. But we're back. And Andrew has politely informed me that he has finished revising his game of Flappy Floppy Dippa Dippa Dappa the Whale. And it is out now for freezies on iOS, maybe later on Android. And we're going to take a look at how he has done major revisions to the game, because previously he'd been borrowing a few assets from some other games that he liked in the background as far as art goes. And so here, just jump in here and take a look. So one of the things that I noticed about the first game, and we've kind of carried over to the updated version, is that Floppy Whale has a lovely little intro. You're a delicious blue whale, and the Eskimos in some sort of majestic, islandy, oasis-y part of the world want to eat you because you are oh so very delicious. But whales, much like myself and many other mammals, very much like it when they're inside, stay on the inside of their body and not in the stomachs of crazy Eskimo people or tribesmen or what have you. And so you have to flop and flip and squip and flibble all your way over these spears so that you don't get murdered. And if you do, you explode into a massive cloud of little grey chunks. So it's pretty straightforward. It is a Flappy Bird-esque game, and it's a pretty good alternative to Flappy Bird. But unlike Flappy Bird, instead of just going through narrow holes and pipes, you have multiple paths that you can pick from. You just got to see that the gaps between the spears that you're targeting is large enough so that you don't get eviscerated into several tiny bits. So yeah, it's pretty good. And if we look at the background, he's done a nice job upgrading his graphics to something very unique and original. We have a nice beach or sandbar that we're flopping around on top of, and we can also, squizzle around just down there on the ground itself without getting murdered. We get a lovely backdrop of oceanside mountains to provide you with a lovely view, and it provides a very in-depth but not too distracting environment from which we can flop around. And we've also got some nice little bloopy noises when we do our tapping to hop. And he's also done a lovely job of simplifying the control set. And by that I mean, previously he gave you the option of flopping left to right, up and down with your controls, and now we just have up and down, which is a lot easier. I remember the previous game being a whole lot more difficult because of that, on top of the fact that you had a boatload more spears coming at your delicious whale face. So simplifying it, especially in a Flappy Bird game, which can really, challenge your concentration, just trying to make sure that you have the right path to stay alive while also looking ahead to plan your next move. So very nice job on that. The whole package is pretty robust, and I thoroughly enjoyed the revised version, especially because I never lived that long when I was checking it out for the Flappy Jam. So very nice job on that front, my good sir. Now, there are a few things that I'm not necessarily disappointed by, but just kind of like looking at, just wondering if he's going to add them later. Previously, we had a lovely background music in the first Flappy Whale, or Floppy Whale, and we don't have that in this one. There's a distinct lack of particular noises besides the floppy noise. Might even just look at like a swooshing sound as different spears come onto the screen, or just a nice background melody to just give us a nice little beat to flop to, because I like to get into a nice groove and rhythm with games like this. But yeah, other than that, I don't have too many complaints. Your whale flops, and it drops when you're not flopping, and you can flop around the ground, and you can very quickly ramp up points and get into the swing of finding a pathway through the spears. Now, just talking about, Flappy Bird alternatives in general, or endless side-scrollers that have, various types of enemies to look out for, in this case the environment full of spears, I am looking for maybe something in the future that provides an evolutionary experience to my gameplay. And by that I mean, it's all very well and good to constantly want to beat my own score of 150 points or 160 or 280 or whatever number I got to. But what I am interested in is, maybe if you slowly, gradually, change the background environment, and so that it kind of either progresses into a day-night cycle, or you go from going over the shores of this, natives-infested area into this, what would it be like? Conquistador-infested island. They're looking for gold, but they're hungry. They need energy to find El Dorado. And so suddenly you go from dodging spears to dodging bullets and maybe bombs. Maybe just spice it up with a few different enemy mechanics. But is it necessary? No. I'm just wondering, it might just be funsies for something to explore for the future, and how to mix it up so that not only do you have the goal of reaching a higher amount of points as you flop along, but maybe something changes. So you're like, oh wait, there's something different? Maybe if I get up to 700 points, I get an even newer, crazier Space Odyssey environment to play through. So, I definitely like this. It's a very nice upgrade to the original Floppy Whale, simplifies things that had previously annoyed me, uses its own original artwork from both environment to whale. The whale previously had a little unicorn horn, maybe like a narwhal horn, but now he's just a cute little whale. And I think Mr. Andrew DeRizio did a very lovely job. So it's free, it's out on iOS, you can pick it up on the App Store. Obviously from this footage you can see that it is ad supported, but they're not the kind of ads that pop up in your face and get in your way between rounds. So, overall, I dig it. It's good. Play it and try it out. It's lots of fun. Otherwise, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. If you enjoyed the series, do me a great favor and hit the like button, or maybe consider subscribing, and I will catch you next time. Toodaloo!